Can you believe? The man in front of him has only one bitter tea. It turned out to be a full-level, full professional player. His name is Xia Ya. It's trapped in an in-game test server. 1,000 years of bad luck. During this period, he not only completed the game 176 times, he also attacked the wife of his beautiful woman, NPC Novice Village. The saint of the Dark Elf Queen. There are even Valkyries of the Light faction. Today is his 177th challenge to the final list. But he wanted to play something different. Familiar plot, boring setting. Let Xia Ya not be interested at all. Hylos is the first to launch a tentacle attack. Press down and twist your body to avoid the first tentacle. Then he thundered. Walking under the lotus whip of Xin Laos. Step on a tentacle. Lean forward. Foot force. This moment, he seemed to have eaten a whole box of eggs and calcium. He rushed to the boss panel in one breath. This scene directly made Sinlo's bladder tremble. Xia Ya calmly waved her left arm. The ring on my hand shines brightly. The dark barrier of Shinlo's fell with a bang. However, Xia Ya directly launched the lookout mirror rebound attack. The skill that Shinluos has been accumulating for a long time hits the opponent. But it's stuck in my own eyes. Take advantage of the time when the heart seems to have no eyes. Go down and pull green onions on dry land. He directly took out his big head. A giant hammer made of ice and snow appeared above his head. Go down, hammer down. Sinlo's hammered eyeball burst. And that's just the beginning. Xia Ya's hammer keeps swinging. Until 2.5 minutes later, Sinlos is already screaming in pain. He looked at Xia Ya in horror. Who the hell are you? I'm just a regular player who killed you 176 times. Shinluas looked confused. My system panel says I've been reborn 6 times. Why haven't I seen you press down and close the system casually? System panel. Your information is just the setting given to you by the game. This is the 177th closed beta. Every time you die, the server restarts. And it starts every time it restarts. So you won't remember anything. Finish. Xia Ya began to grope from the bitter tea. Shinlos panicked after seeing it. I saw Xia Ya take out a black leaf. Despite the resistance of Shinlos, put it directly into the other person's mouth. Although the plug is wrong, but this doesn't affect the effect of the leaves. I saw that Shinlo's injuries began to slowly recover. It turns out that Xia Ya used it for him just now. It is an abyss magic liquid that can heal dark creatures. Sinlos, recovering from his injuries, questions Xia Ya. Why save him? Xia Ya waved her hand. I just need his help. Hylos wanted to resist, but he was hit by Xia Ya again. After being beaten twice, Sinlos is finally honest. He asked Xia Ya what she wanted him to do. Xia Ya smiled faintly. I'm going to use your power against Olympus Road. Here, heart-tearing face. Unbelievable. A chosen one of the light. To deal with the patron saint of light. Xia Ya ignored lost surprise. To explain in a very light way. He is in so many reincarnations. Play every corner of the game. He has played the final boss's death more than 100 times. but only one form of Valkyrie. He hasn't seen, the Valkyrie once told him herself. When he was in a desperate situation, he can become one with sacred sword Nasser. And that's when Olympus Road will explode with divine power. Purify the world. And this time around, he deliberately filled the other party's favor and didn't touch him. Let him maintain the most holy state of mind in order to drive him into a corner so he can see his best face and say, "Here, Xia Ya is lost in her own obsession." Laughing wildly, hear the laughter echoing in the canyon. I can't help but sweat. Dude, this plan. I'd feel sick as a pervert. Trapped in the game, how valuable are 1,000-year-old players? To get a glimpse of the Valkyrie and the Holy Sword combined, he directly subdued the final Basilos by force, and then stood on the opposite side of the light camp. When the Valkyrie Olimsilo, when leading the expeditionary force of light to the castle, Xia is sitting on a throne enjoying a maid's dress. Bitch has arrived. He gently lifted his belly arm. Just snapped your fingers. A huge iceberg rises from the ground. Tens of thousands of night skies were instantly transformed into ice sculptures. This scene even includes Star North, who is the final boss. All for the legacy. Solve all expeditionary forces in one move. What a terrifying frost skill this is. He came to the Valkyrie. See that the other party has been hollowed in the ice, ready to go home. And just then, Ice Cave begins to translate. The Valkyrie array arms called out, "Break free from the ice hole." He glared fiercely at Xia Ya. "Xia Ya, you traitor." Xia drags her cheek. It doesn't matter. Hello, Olin West Road. It seems that my soldiers are not enough to reduce the fire for you. Strength at the foot of Olenzi Road. Take the sword and press down. The anger of betrayal burns all over. The favorability of the two was instantly cleared. Once a close friend turned into hatred. But Xia still looked indifferent. Just as the Valkyrie longsword slashed down, Sinlo stands in front of Xia Ya. A formation has been condensed. Next second, Helos bypass ejection. An ability directly penetrates the tip of Olympus Road. Valkyrie is soaking wet. Falling rapidly, he squinted, half kneeling on the ground, and just then, New Ross launches Bigger Ham. Countless ability bullets fell from the formation. Like a meteor shower, such a dense attack made Xia Ya a little unable to sit still. In the smoke, Olenzi stood up with his sword in his hand. He was unwilling and couldn't believe it. He hysterically confronted Xia Ya. What is it for? Xia Ya picks her ears. A look of indifference indicating that he is bored. Such an answer left Olympus speechless. Xia Ya smiled evilly. You are just a tool in my reincarnation. Xia Ya's words are like a cold knife into the heart of Orin West Road. He said lightly to Hilos beside him, "Let's start." Hilo's body swelled at the command. A huge magic array appeared in the sky. The Valkyrie at his feet compared to his figure becomes so A faint golden light was attached around his body. At this moment, he seemed to have made a huge decision. Instantly burst out dazzling golden light. In the next second, the shape of Olin 7 Road began to change. He began to merge with the sword. At this time, Xia Ya in the distance has been seen so beautifully. He unconsciously reached out his palm to want to. And just then, the world begins to crumble. Xia Ya's body and everything around her start digitizing. Red arrow, red arrow. Half-World VR 7.7 version closed beta ends. Data deleting. Open beta, open. Have a nice game. Believe in the novice village gentle and sweet wife. He was a level 14 swordsman. And it is still the combat power of the novice village. Sealing down. Wake up in a novice village. Open the system panel. All properties have been reset. Only 50 coppers left in the backpack. Check your own achievements. Panel down. Can't help but complain. The 177th closed beta deletion ended too hastily. Especially the part where the Valkyrie sacrifices herself. Better to blacken. Falling Valkyrie. Xia Ya gets dressed and walks out of the room. A new round is about to begin again. Familiar NPC. Familiar plot. Suddenly, a ball fell from the sky. Xia girl didn't return a sword either. And then I swung it. He's done this over 100 times. The cotton ball is ejected repeatedly. Hit a thief and press down. Pick up a cat and a courier box on the ground. Then I took the bag of money that the thief stole in my hand. The unchanging plot makes it easy for him to tell. Come to the village entrance. Xia Ya took what was in her hand to the village chief, expressed that you have to hand in the task. However, at this time, the village chief has not started to release. But the voice just fell. The village adjutant came over with a mission reward. The village chief glanced at the props pressed down. Directly indicates task completion. Pressing down and expressionlessly receiving the task reward. Turn around and leave. In this game called Fantasy, the player has no clear mission intent. You need to fumble and punish yourself. In the beginning, Xia Ya was a little excited and surprised. But after he swiped 177 times, you start to see that these tasks become boring. But now the villagers who have the task reward have a good impression. He can get close to that woman. Over 100 repetitions. The only thing that keeps Xia Ya from playing is the woman, and the only NPC worth fighting in the novice village. Only one. That's the Westerners. Don't look at Xia West as a gentle and sweet person. In fact, he can have a combat power ceiling of 14 episodes. According to the usual plot, Xia Ya accosted the other party without a word. However, this time, Xia Ya suddenly asked Xia Ya, "Have you heard about the Wandering Brave?" Xia Ya looked shocked. Did this trigger a new plot? Just then, the voices of several men suddenly came from a distance. Looking for snow. I saw 3 wretched people. The man looked at Xia with a squint. Xia Ya's head exploded. Why is there still a living person? Could it be that he is here to eat Xia peaches? That's the point. 177 times, this broken game finally has a living person. This means you can go out on your own. while Xia Ya's thoughts were at war. Xia Ya suddenly woke him up. "Brother Xia Ya, can you help me bring the sword over?" Xia Ya dragged the great sword and couldn't help complaining. For him, who only has 5 points of strength, it's a bit laborious. Just as Xia Ya was moving, he suddenly saw the 3 little quacks just now. He actually came up and started flirting with Xia Ya. Xia Ya smiled lightly. The heads of these novice players are really sweet. Xia Ya is a novice village occupying the ceiling. Looks like there's a good show to watch. Calves are not afraid. New player had really iron. Just entered the novice village. You dare to tease the combat power ceiling here. In the transition game, NPCs are like real people. They will pit and lick. Love can hate and will actually die. After disappearing, his mission was not handed over by others. It can be said to be very true. It seems that these new little quacks didn't read the game manual at all. Just as one of them was about to go up and down, Chua couldn't help it. As a player who has lived in the game for thousands of years, the NPCs here are more like his compatriots. He would never allow anyone to bully him. The broken sword slashed violently. 3 little dads. Suddenly, he was scolded by the sudden giant sword. The scene is full of smoke and dust. They didn't see it clearly. One of them rushed up with a fist. Xia Ya directly threw her sword at the opponent's face. The green fur in the team still wants to release harsh words, but was dragged away by a companion. "Stop pretending. Hurry up if he's an NPC. Then the plot will be triggered. Killed by the plot. How embarrassing if the player has a weapon as soon as he opens the server. The other party must be a cruel person. Take a few people away." Mrs. Whites came up to Xia Ya and apologized. Then he took the sword from Xia Ya's hand. "I didn't ask you for help just now." Still so weak. Xia Ya hurriedly smiled and said that but it's better for me to do it. Those people just now. At first glance, it is the vagrant taken in by the village chief, mostly to do something for the village. If Miss Xia Ya fights with each other, I'm afraid it will be difficult for the village chief to handle. Sure enough, Xia Ya's words instantly increased Xia Ya's favorability by 20. But that's just the beginning. Xia Ya continued to speak. "Do you remember 4 years ago? Tanta Town destroyed by monsters. That's when you saved a seriously injured child. At that time, due to the rush to the doctor, leave just in time to leave food and water. And that child was me." Of course, what Xia Ya said was a lie. After the success of the previous strategy, Xia Ya said the most guilty thing in her life. And the secret is only known to her and her husband. After Xia Ya discovered, just pretend to be this identity. Both he and Celia will be instantly brimming with affection, with the blessing of this little Easter egg. In this way, you can get the strongest combat power in the novice village. Brush enough to remove the village's experience and prestige. The key is to also fill the void in the other party. People who have been in the game for thousands of years. He knew all the secrets of the major NPCs. Xia Ya has gained experience through previous strategies. Successfully disguised as the child rescued by Xia Ya. Not only did he win the double ball crit, The intimacy between the two also reached intimacy in an instant.